Before I invite our speakers for today, a quick look on Construction World. 25 years and running, Construction World is the largest circulated construction magazine with distribution to across 800 cities in India and overseas. A glimpses of few of our covers. We had path-breaking interviews by Mr. Nitin Gadkari, Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri, and Mr. T.V. Somanathan. Lately, our focus has shifted to digital, and I'm delighted to share with you that our monthly visits have now crossed 250,000. If you haven't already, do subscribe to CWOW, which is Construction World on WhatsApp, to get regular industry updates on the go. To avail this opportunity, just give a missed call to the number that you see on your screen, and we will connect back with you. CW Gold is one of our exclusive offerings through which you can stay updated on very exclusive content. Some of our upcoming events. Here is a construction technology summit that we are planning on 22nd July at the Lalit in New Delhi. We have a killer lineup of speakers, and we are discussing about adoption of technology in various infrastructure projects like metro, rail, vertical construction, etc. Do get in touch with me or my team for many more details on this. With that, let's invite our speakers for the day. Mr. Arjun Janananda, co-founder and CTO of UVA Technologies. Arjun remains the prime mover in building an AI ML capabilities that drive Construct. He will present a framework and a tactical game plan to identify use cases, conduct POCs, and realize the full benefits of AI and ML technologies. Along with Arjun, we will also welcome Mr. Surendra Sawant, General Manager Projects at Brigade Group. He is a leader with vast experience across all stages of construction project lifecycle, and is responsible for identifying and leveraging the best technology tools for cost modeling, remote construction management at large. As I invite Arjun to take this ahead, I also request every one of you to post your questions on the Q&A tab, and also stay tuned as we have many more interesting details like the credentials for free and limited time access to Construct during the webinar. With this, let me invite Arjun. Thank you. Welcome, Arjun.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Vrishali. And hello, everyone. Firstly, I just wanted to extend a warm welcome to all of you who are attending the webinar today. And we'll keep this webinar focused and crisp and with a guaranteed outcome for all of us who are attending this today. I'm Arjun. I'm co-founder of UVA Technologies, and we are a visual intelligence software platform that caters to all the phases of construction lifecycle, right from land scouting, land survey to the excavations and the actual progress of construction that happens, base build as well as interior progress that happens till the final handover to the handover that happens at the end of project completion. Right, and we achieve this by incorporating a lot of cutting-edge technologies, including AI and ML, into our product. And today we'll be discussing on this topic. From all the experiences that I have gained by implementing these technologies in various projects, various construction companies, what we'll do is we will chart out a 60-day plan for each one of us attendees over here to have a plan to adopt these technologies into their own projects and become very successful in that. And by the end of today, what we'll hope for is that that everyone feels a lot more comfortable and confident about incorporating these new age technologies into their projects. And yeah, we are very passionate about it. We have built this with a lot of effort, a lot of love, and we would love to show you how each one of you can benefit from these upcoming new technologies in this current world. Right, so let me just share my screen and get to the presentation. So Now we are all very familiar with construction projects. They are, I would say, embodiment of complexities. There are like multiple stakeholders, multiple people working. There are strict timelines going on. There are countless subcontractors, sub vendors, everyone working. And there is also such a big interdependency on each of those tasks. So managing this entire scheme of things over there becomes quite a tedious task on the construction site. And to overcome this, there have been attempts in the past to introduce technology to enhance the processes of these construction sites and also to streamline the process. But what we have seen is that despite all that, those technologies have remained kind of inadequate, and the inefficiencies and problems at the construction site are still there. And perhaps construction sector is one of the least adopter of technology in the world. And over the past few years, what we have seen is that newest technologies coming up, particularly AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, they have been of immense benefit to various sectors across the world, whether it is, say, finance, or whether it is manufacturing, whether it is banking, whether it is even agriculture. In all these sectors, we have seen AI and ML technology helping and improving the efficiencies and processes in these sectors in a very big way. Right. So even before we get into how these technologies can be used, what we can look at is what is the basic definition of these for the uninitiated people in our audience today. So machine learning, I would say by definition, is the use of development of computer systems that are able to learn and adapt without explicitly programming, without someone explicitly writing a program for them to carry out a certain instruction. Right. And they do this by using different algorithms and statistical models that come into picture, and they analyze all the data and they kind of learn by themselves, almost like how a human learns by looking at a lot of data, by learning continuously. These machine algorithms also learn, and they are able to come up with a certain amount of useful outputs for people. Right. And if you look at construction site, we see that there is a lot of data that gets generated on construction sites. There are multiple data points that get recorded by, say, site engineers. There are hundreds of photos and videos that get taken on the construction sites, and also a lot of data points, including the progress, the numbers, the metrics, the cost. So many things, so many data points get recorded on the construction sites. And definitely all these points are required to execute the construction sites on a daily basis. Now, for construction industry, particularly, machine learning will entail a computer program which is continuously ingesting and learning from all the data, and using this data, the data will undergo a kind of processing, a machine learning processing, and eventually a solution will come up that should enhance the process and speed of construction. It should be able to reduce defects on the sites, and also definitely the save costs for the entire construction project. Right. So what I will do is I will just showcase to you certain examples on our platform, Bhuvier Construct, how we use this technology along with multiple other technologies to come up with solutions that have proven to be immensely useful for construction sector. So what I will do is I will start from the land survey part. The first process of construction. So let me just jump over to the process. So what we do on Bhuvier Construct is that as a first level of output, we use drone technology, and the data from drone, it goes into a system, and as a first level of output, we create a digital twin 3D model of the entire site. So you can pan across, you can zoom into any part of the site, you can actually even make measurements and understand all the features, and all this becomes enabled remotely. So we just need one person who just need to go to the site, fly the drone, and drones, all of these go in automated flights, and a bit of AI and ML technology also goes in, because the drones have been flying for quite a few years. So what we have done is we have programmed the drones. They have learned from all the previous flights, and the most optimized way of data collection has been incorporated into getting a certain output like this. Right. And also what we do further from this output, we get this data in 3D. We are able to recreate the entire part from 3D just from the drone images and videos that we get. And further, from the land survey perspective, we are able to generate all the outputs of a typical topographical survey along with this great top view visualization, along with all the measurement features, all those things will be there. So automatically through ML, we are able to actually generate the contours for the entire site. And at a very high level of detail, we are able to get that, right? The contour files are generated. And also we are able to do certain other things, that we are able to simulate the water flow, that when it rains, what exactly the path the water will take. And all of this gets overlaid on the map that we would have created for the entire site. So it makes the visualization more easy, more impactful. And along with all the data, we are able to we are able to produce this brilliant visualization. And also, again, a computer vision based AI comes into picture over here, wherein we automatically identify certain features on the ground. All that usually becomes part of a typical topographical survey, whether it is nalas, canals, transmission lines, all those things are also generated from our engine. And we are able to, again, output all of this along with this visualization as a CAD file that can be further used in construction. Right. And further, after the land survey part comes, I would say, the excavation part. So for excavation part, what we have is we have a volume measurement engine, which again uses the 3D model to automatically calculate the volume of excavations that are gone on. And in fact, the user also has the option of drawing himself and understanding what is the excavation going on, or if there are any stockpiles that are there, what is the volume of stockpiles, including cut and fill. We are able to get that. So this also becomes quite useful. Again, all this data is a cloud-based solution, so it will be available on your computer. You don't need any specialized software or high-end systems to work on it. For that matter, even on mobile phones, anyone will be able to use this data and have a visualization of it. Right. And further, after the excavation part, when the actual construction progress happens, what we do is that we automatically identify, our engines will identify how much of each component of work is going on. And this is from the base build perspective. That is how much of, for example, over here, how much of ground floor concrete has been put, and how much of reinforcement work is going on across the entire site. We are able to identify and we are able to, in fact, quantify that. We know the exact area of coverage of work that has happened. And what we do with this data is that this data gets compared with your actual plans, your Microsoft or Oracle Primavera schedules. And we are able to draw out a plan versus actual on the progress of work. Right. And that too at a certain level of breakdown of work. And all this, the work breakdown, we are actually getting it from your work breakdown package. And we are able to actually plot the actual progress of work against all the parameters that we are able to get. And all this we do without any human input of data. For us to get this data, we don't need any site engineer or a person on the site to actually tell us what is the progress of work. All this is derived from computer vision based machine learning that I was talking about, from the images that we collect from drones or from interior 360 camera. So that we use for drawing out the interiors. So for interiors, what we do is that we make a complete walkthrough of the entire site with a bunch of 360 images, wherein these images are actually mapped to different parts on the floor plan that you have. So for example, if you want to know what is the work going on in this bedroom, so you are instantly transposed to that part of the building, right? Or for example, and in this you can probably even jump floors. You can basically put yourself to any part of the building to understand what is the progress of work going on over there, right? So for example, over here, I am in bedroom of 5th floor of tower C, right? And again, greatly helps in remote monitoring of all the projects, no matter where they are. And what we have seen is that when we bring in these technologies, there has been immense benefits that our customers have seen, especially from the land survey part that I was showing. As I was saying, land survey, which will take days and days on the site with total stations and other terrestrial equipment. Now it is just one person going to the site, and the drone flies on automated flights, and we get all the outputs within a few hours. You don't have to wait for multiple days. The manpower reduces. And also we have seen that all the data coming on a dashboard coming together helps, especially in the land scouting phase, to make a go, no-go decision very fast, very easy, without actually ever visiting the site. Same for construction. We now get visual dashboards for insight, which definitely helps in insight-driven decisions, brings in a great level of transparency for people to actually understand what is the progress of work, and all the numbers derived from the images and the videos that I was showing makes everyone come on the same platform, collaborate better. And also, unlike other technologies where the entire company and all the people in the company had to be trained, AI and ML, especially from this perspective, doesn't need that. It is just one person, even an outsider can come collect the data and provide all the inputs which eventually people would have needed. So the adoption becomes very fast. Within a day, everyone is able to see all the outputs, all the relevant outputs that is there. Right. So now to adopt this technology into our any construction site or a construction company, there has to be a certain game plan, and we'll come to that. I mean, that's the main topic of our conversation today. So what we have seen is that we have to go through a certain bullet points, I would say. If we follow each of them, then it becomes all the more easy and straightforward. We bring in a structure to adopting these new technologies into the already established processes and people that we have in our organizations, right? So the first and foremost thing will be to identify the use cases that will from which your processes, your company can benefit from different levels of technologies that are available, that I was demonstrating some time ago. And I would say that for that, the first and foremost thing perhaps will be that the outcomes have to be known beforehand. So if you have the outcomes, if you set up that benchmark, then it becomes easy when you adopt them, or when you do a POC on this, it becomes very easy for you to understand what all aspects, in what all aspects you're going to benefit. So first and foremost thing will be the time saved in operations, because of all the data coming seamlessly without multiple people involved or spending their time to collect this data and present it in a usable format. There will be a lot of time that will be saved in operations. And also the visualization upgrade that this technology brings is immense. And we all know that dashboards, along with visual proof of work, visual data alongside, that is, I mean, it is like a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we get this immense benefit from it. And certainly, all this will definitely lead to a lot of cost savings on the side for everyone else. Maybe because the manpower is reduced, the supervisory manpower is reduced. We need fewer people to actually get the work done or report on the progress of work. Or maybe because coordination becomes a lot more easy. People don't spend endless time sending files or understanding or analyzing reports. Everything is right in front of us to understand what exactly is going on. And also, I would say, since everyone is able to collaborate, is able to see everything on a singular platform, even assign defects or assign tasks to people on this platform, it always helps in reducing conflicts or defects, as inspection and rework tracking. Everything becomes a lot more easy for the customers, right? So, and again, here we need to quantify ROI, because whenever we are adopting new technology, spending something, there has to be a quantification of ROI that needs to be done. And like I was saying, that if you have the benchmark of exactly how much cost that can be saved, how much time that can be saved, how much of manpower effort can be reduced, then it becomes all the more easy to actually compare with your existing processes and come up with a great solution. Right. And also, I would say a very important aspect of adopting any new technology whenever we go through this game plan will be to convince everyone, to convince all the stakeholders that how useful that will be. And this technology, in fact, has a usefulness for almost all the stakeholders in the construction sector, different companies, vendors, or even different levels of hierarchy at which people work on the construction projects, construction sites, right? Like, so for senior management, they get visual dashboards. A very transparent way of reporting also comes in, and that definitely helps them in, I would say, a data-driven decision making that they can very easily, and they can do it in an instant. And also, since it is available on cloud, this can be shared with almost anyone across the world, any stakeholder, lender, anyone who is over there. And also the PMCs who get involved, the project management companies who get involved, they are also able to get a far more better visualization, and they are able to track the progress, the project progress, and have control over all the material supply or costs in a very easy and very easy manner. Also the banks and financiers which are actually funding the project, which are lending money for these projects, for them also such data becomes very useful, because they are able to do a very timely and easy decision of I would say milestone based payments that happen at the site, right? Different tranches of money being released for the project completion. For them also it becomes easy. And for head of projects who are actually managing the projects, it becomes easy, because a level of clarity of work completion becomes very easy and apparent that this technology is able to bring in. And also for supervisors, site engineers, also managing the defects, snags that come in either during the course of the project or during the handover phase also becomes quite easy. And I would say even for vendors and subcontractors, it becomes quite easy. It brings them a clarity of task, the work completion. They're able to report it better. And also the milestone based the payments that get done for them also becomes easy, because there will always be a historical record of data, a visual proof of work completion, all of which comes on the platform. Right. And certainly for any project to happen during the course of adoption, especially during the initial times, there has to be a continuous measurement and reporting of each of these aspects that need to come in. Right. So, and we all know that all construction projects are unique, and there is a visual inspection that is actually necessary at each and every step. So a visual intelligence platform like this makes it very easy to derive insight from images, get the numbers, and have all the projects, all the aspects, all the tasks that go on at the site completely in control. And also automatic AI-enabled reporting, the one that I was showing, with zero human input from sites, makes reporting transparent, error-free, and also extremely fast and efficient. As soon as it is almost like a real-time reporting of progress of work that comes in with adoption of this technology. So yes, to have everyone adopt this technology, what we have done is we have just created a kind of Gantt chart, which has a kind of weekly plan as how exactly we can go about implementing this technology in any construction site or a project. What we'll do is we'll send this across to you anyway after the webinar gets over, but it's just a glimpse of it that will help each one of you to actually implement all this in your projects. And also along with it, what we will do is we will provide you access to Whovier Construct, the platform that I was just showing. So you can also, in fact, log in, and you can also play around. You can also just see all the data that I was showcasing and understand the complete benefits of it. So you can actually visit construct.whovier.com and log in with demo@whovier.com and with the password demo@123. We'll be sending this to you anyway, but you can also get a first-hand experience of how, if this technology gets implemented in your for your projects, for your processes, what kind of outputs you can see, you can visualize. Right. And yeah, I think with this, I would perhaps like to conclude my part. We'll have a detailed Q&A session at the end of, towards the end of this webinar. But yeah, at this point of time, I would like Vrishali to take over from here, and we can proceed with understanding of perspective of Mr. Surendra sir also, that how exactly he has gone about adopting technology in such a big company like Brigade. So
thank you so much, Arjun. Thank you so much. It was really interesting. I'm really urging everyone to take a look at the platform. We have shared the credentials. We will mail them to you as well. And Arjun is here. We have Mr. Surendra Sawant, General Manager Projects Brigade, with us as well. Do drop in your questions. We will answer them once Mr. Sawant is done presenting. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Roshali. Thank you, Arjun. Hello, friends. I'm here to share my experience about what this technology has helped in my project. I'm working with Brigade Group, and we are a real estate and property development project development company. We are developing mega townships, mega projects, like wherein a large number of buildings are coming up. So when we go for this particular smart city, smart township, some concept like this, we develop about almost more than we are developing about more than 5.7 million or 4 million, 5 million, like that type of a projects we are developing. So when we are developing such projects, we come across, we want to implement some better technology driven reports we should get, and that should be handy to us. So that is the reason, one of the key things wherein I have come here to let you know what has helped me out. Before starting that, I will say that why it intended to go for this particular service. Like we get drawings, we get many drawings from architects, consultants, and when we start for the project work, we rely on our surveyors, and then the engineers, the managers, and the project head somewhere. He don't go at the site to check the survey levels and all that, but he wants to get a confidence from the surveyor and the manager that whether the building is coming on the right track or not. So to explain you all this particular thing, I have devised some benefits which I have drawn from this particular services. Apart from that, I have also come across uh, many contractors wherein they talk about labors, the productivity, and when you like what Arjun said in his earlier statement, the picture speaks 1,000 words. So similarly, I have understood that particular thing, and we chosen these services, and I would like to share you some ideas what it has gone very well with us. I'll share my screen. Rushali, is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah. First and foremost, when we start constructing the high-rise building, we need to get assurance that whether we are constructing the building in vertical plumb or not. A small error can lead to a problem. If a surveyor has not taken up that particular survey part correctly, and if the footprint is not in right location where it was supposed to be, then we end up in a lot of problem at the end of the project. If suppose my sanction plan says my setback distance is 16 meter, I have to maintain that 16 meter. I cannot compromise that 100 mm or 200 mm also. That 100 mm and 200 mm will cost me a larger penalty at the end of the project, and wherein the surveyor will not be available that time. So I need to get a confidence every week or every floor when it is done. So this particular technology, when we use it for drone technology, when we are using it, it is creating a orthomosaic picture, and we map it onto our CAD drawing files where we understand, yes, my building is exactly coming onto what it was required to be. So that gave me a bigger confidence of going forward. So we had about 26 floors. So every floor, I was getting confidence that yes, we are doing it on right track and in plumb. Any small error will lead to a problem. So this was the thing which gained a advantage to me, and a relaxation that yes, the building will be in plumb and vertical, and with the setback distance maintained in the project. Going forward, when we talk about work progress, the work progress verification is a very must and a crucial part when we go on a high rise. So when we track this particular work progress with the contractor, like Arjun said, picture speaks 1,000 words. It becomes very clear in the meetings that if it is not progressing, we can talk to the contractor and get our work done faster. And if my schedule is lagging, I can show him that yes, this is a problem. And we can track very clearly how much shuttering has been done, how much reinforcement has been done on a particular slab, and how I have to track it. So this was a very good tool for us, wherein we could cover larger progress verification with the contractor sitting in the meeting room also, and wherein he could be cornered and asked to increase the manpower as what is required for the project requirement. This was a wonderful thing which has happened. Going forward, we also did one excavation estimation check, basically check I will say, because when we started using this particular technology, it was a little bit we had already done major of the excavation works. So one part of an excavation wherein we did the contour survey and we got the excavation quantity manually done, and then for cross-checking, we did this particular excavation quantity check also from them. It was exact. So it has taken up. We considered the mean sea level. Basis to the mean sea level, the drone technology calculated the excavation quantity of that particular excavation of that particular pit, whatever it was required. So we have got one confidence, and we can use it in our next upcoming excavation projects wherever required. So this was one of the good thing. Going forward, the more benefits about this external part, we started productivity mapping for slab and beam as well, wherein we could confidently say to the contractor that, hey, look, the number of labors deployed for that particular slab for shuttering is not adequate, because we see the progress not happening, and basis to that pictures and the images, it was getting evident every time. One more important thing I will say this is that when we sell this particular flats, we get the payments on milestone basis. So every milestone, say suppose after every 4 floors, if they have to pay the money, they have to be given the photographs, or it was published directly onto the website also. The same images what we Constra used to give us, Huvier used to give us, and that used to give a confidence to the customer as well that yes, the progress is happening. So this was one of the very good advantage which we could take benefit of it, wherein the customers also got on confidence and they started making a payment basis to this particular images what they saw on the website, which was a real true images which we were doing. Going to the interior parts, like when we take the drone technology inside the building, wherein a lot of finishes work when we start, there are many contractors start working, and every contractor work has to be mapped correctly. So we will have firefighting contractor, we'll have electrical contractor, we'll have flooring contractor also working sometime, plumbing as well. So this walkthrough images we used to get from the drone method, and then we used to compare that with the floor drawings and calculate the percentage of work done by each of the contractor as well. So that also helped me a lot, because everyone will have his own understanding of work completion. But when we look at the images on our own and we tell them that this particular work has not happened, this particular work has not happened, so they have to get aggressively done for that particular floor. Work progress, we used to cross-check that also basis to schedule what they had given. So this was like mentioning that the pictures speak more. We used to track the modification also, like when any of the customer say that master bedroom flooring is not wooden flooring is not required, we require to put only the tile flooring. So those particular floors where it becomes very important, because we want to avoid the reworks. So these modifications could be tracked very easily with this particular walkthrough, and it was excellent thing. We could also make customer understand the progress of work for their flat. Like we had also a milestone for fixing of doors and windows, and then they have to make the payment. Now, if they have to make the payment for that particular, we could show them the videos also for that particular floor, and they have to make the payment accordingly. So this also helped us a lot, wherein we could convince the customer to make their milestone payments. in the common areas, we get a lot of services coming in. So we could visualize it very correctly, what work has not happened and what work has to be initiated next. If at all there are any errors like a core code is missed or something like that, that also could be identified very easily in this. So this was an excellent thing part for me. As a project head of this particular project for Brigade, this particular services has given me a immense mileage, I would say an added advantage over my routine works, when I was very confident of, first of all the services which are point by point noted, and we have taken advantage of this particular services. So I have mentioned it very clearly as an advantage. This is a plan and actual visual intels also we compared very clearly with our drawings, and it was well. It was just an image which I tried showing you. That's it from my end. Vrushali, if at all any Q&A is there, you can ask me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the Q&A, we have a small poll question for you. If you are launching it shortly, you can please share your answers. Just keeping it live for a minute so that we capture all your answers. Thank you. With this, I also invite Mr. Arjun and Mr. Surendra to please switch on your cameras. We have a few questions so that, and we can take the questions and see what the queries are. Firstly, Arjun, there is one question on whether there are any sensors that are to be embedded into the infrastructure to evaluate the real-time strength of or the progress of. So how is it done? If you could just explain
Right.
it.
So, that part, I would say, with the current technology that I showed you, which was mainly visual-based technology, we cannot actually find out the strength of the materials. That part, perhaps we have to take case by case, whether we have to do a destructive testing to understand the testing or the kind of composition of, for example, say concrete mix that has come. So, there will be certain different sensors which can provide the strength of this, and also there will be different ways and means to understand the strength of structure that is coming up. But with this visual based technology, that data doesn't come in, and we are not able to report on the strength of the structure or the materials that has come in.
There's one more question from Sir Rahul Banerjee. Do we have any quantity-wise progress check in the software platform?
Yes, the reporting that we do is actually based on the quantity of work that has been completed. So I would say that, in addition to the previous question that was asked, so quality is something that we cannot do just from the visual platform, visual intelligence, but quantity is precisely what we are able to report on. The amount of, say, concrete poured, the number of door frames installed, the amount of painting work done, the MEP installation or whatever. So we are able to do quantity-wise progress check of work.
Uh, Surinder sir, I hope you're here as well. I have one question for you, if you could.
Yes.
So, we would want to understand the difference in the work that the difference in the progress or monitoring that you have been facing after you have started using the construct. So, if you can just give us a little comparative analysis.
Comparative analysis, I will say, in the project review meetings, when we show the actual pictures of the site, and when we debate on the weekly schedules with the contractor, like it speaks a lot. It speaks a lot. And the progress which was supposed to happen for a particular week, we chase on that particular part. We don't try to lose on the week. If we, on a large scale project, if we start losing a week, it gathers into months, and that is a pain point for us. So what we try to do every time is we start talking to the contractor on with the photographs, with the images, with the videos. Hey, look, we have missed this particular floor, or we have missed this half floor. We are not progressing on the shuttering. We are not progressing here on the bar bending. That particular thing is a very important thing for us, and we show it to the every management member of that particular company as well. When we talk about the interiors also, when we talk about a plumbing contractor, going flat by flat and making him understand is a real pain and a challenge also. But when we talk in a meeting about that particular thing, say, look, this particular flat you were supposed to complete, and the video shows or the picture shows something different, so he understands. Then we have to expedite on the labor force, material also to be deployed properly, and all that. We compared that as an advantage.
There's today customer is the king. So, I think this must be helping you in the customer feedback or customer satisfaction as well. Could you just highlight that a little as well?
Customer, I want to say the end buyer who is coming, who is buying the flats, they feel confident about when they see directly on the website. We take your services and we put it directly onto the website, showing that, hey, look, the building construction has moved to this particular stage. So when the milestone is achieved, he has to make a payment. So he cannot debate. As in the construction side, we don't allow customers to come in because a lot of safety part has to be ensured. So we don't allow customers to come in. So how do we give them the confidence? We give them the confidence by sharing such videos and the images also, which helps them to make the payment, and we deliver on our promises.
Arjun, the next question is for you. How about using 3D technology? So, are we also using 3D mapping or 3D technology through this?
Yes. So what technology we primarily use is generating those 3D models from the photographs. So by 3D technology, perhaps you're meaning LiDAR or one of these technologies. What we do is that we are able to generate exactly similar outputs, and many a times with a lot more accuracy, just from the photos and images that we get from drones. So there is a term called photogrammetry that is used at the back end, which basically converts all this into exact 3D outputs that we get from traditional 3D devices like LiDAR or other 3D scanners that might be there. But at the same time, we bring in a big cost advantage to this compared to a LiDAR system, which is quite expensive and takes a lot of time to actually regenerate the 3D rendering of the entire space. We are able to do it in a lot more cost-effective way and also a lot faster.
There is another question where they have asked about, do we need to learn drone technology to get all the data from our site and use AI ML technology?
Not really, not at all. So what I would say is that the technology has improved quite a bit over the last few years. So you don't really need to learn much about drones. You just need to know to perhaps operate it. And by operating, it is all managed with apps. You can just block the area where the drones have to fly, and the drone automatically goes up, collects the data, comes back, and the data automatically gets uploaded into our backend servers to the cloud platform, and the data gets processed into all the outputs that I was showing. So you don't really need to have any technical expertise to adopt this technology. It will be as simple as, I would say, working on a mobile app or something, just that it is associated with a very robust physical device, which does its job and which knows how to do the job and give you all the outputs.
With this, Mr. Samant, I would like to ask you, once you started adopting the technology, was there any, did you like train your staff to use it, or what kind of training and services were needed with this?
We only trained them on to use of how to use this particular app. Otherwise, all the services were done from your end, from Hoovy here. And we just installed the app and understood how to toggle between the app, because we had number of buildings. So which building you have to exactly pin in, get the data over there, understand how to use the interior works photos, how to go into that and find out if at all any error is there, mark it on that particular photo itself and send it to the contractor directly from there itself, so that he also can make that particular changes or make that corrections, whatever, if it has something has gone wrong. So that was also an advantage which I missed stating it, but you can directly mark onto the photograph that this particular issue is there, and you can email it immediately to the contractor saying that this is a problem. So that also we just explained them how to toggle between each and every step of an app. That's all. Otherwise, Hoovy has taken care of everything.
Thank you. There's another question by Mr. Mohammed. Usually in managing the construction, one of the critical cost escalation is in the interface between two trades. How can it be micro observed? So does the software help, and how can it be micro observed?
Right. So see, I would say the biggest advantage that this software brings is that it will be one single platform, one source of truth that everyone can visualize, that everyone can see. So not just collaboration, like Mr. Surendra was saying, that if there is a defect, if there is a problem, it can be immediately marked and shared with a person of another trade or another vendor, subcontractor, whoever it is. So that way it becomes a very collaborative place, collaborative environment where everyone is actually looking at the same data, working on the same data. And say even after completion, the updated progress also can be seen by one and everyone. So that makes it very easy, very straightforward for people. And there are a lot of other smaller tools, ancillary tools in the application that make sharing and all these things become quite easy for all the people. So that way it reduces the time we do. Otherwise, perhaps the way things are done is a photo is taken, sent on WhatsApp, and then the tracking mechanism, all those things, the snag management, everything we are able to bring in onto the platform, wherein digitally it happens. And we have a snag management tool also. Due to constraint of time, I could not show. But what happens is that if there is any snag that is reported, as soon as the snag is reported, the person on the site, he can take the photo, capture the photo right there, or even on the 360 walkthrough that I was showing, a person can mark out the snag. And as soon as it is marked down and assigned to a person, that person on his mobile app gets a push notification. And that entire digital tracking of completion of work, managing snag management, everything becomes easy and straightforward. So a lot of things, a lot of time that is wasted in coordinating between different trades, between different contractors or sub vendors, all that gets completely reduced when such a platform is used across the organization.
Can you also check on the quality on real-time basis using this?
So yeah, that's what I was telling you. This is mainly from the quantity part of view. The quality, the strength, all those things are something we cannot do it just from this technology. We would require a few more sensors, which are probably embedded in the structure that is coming up, which can give us those outputs.
There's another question where I would like to understand how can we use this technology in the interior part? So does it help in calculating the length of the wire probably, or the plumbing pipe work?
Right. So like I was showing, for interiors, the biggest advantage that comes in is that the entire interior work that is going on gets mapped on the entire site. And like I was showing, you can actually, if you want to know what is happening on 12th floor apartment 1206 bathroom, I can actually go there. It just takes me 2 clicks to actually go there. So the visualization part comes in, and along with it, the measurements also become possible, and it becomes quite easy to actually understand and visualize what is going on. But at the same time, one caveat over here is that since we are using images, photos, and videos, only what we see we can report on. So if there is some work going on within the which cannot be seen from the images. So for example, if there are any electrical pipes have been drawn, and if the wires have been drawn inside, that probably we will not be able to report, because with this technology we cannot see what is inside the walls. But whatever is seen, all of them are measurable, all of them are identifiable, and very accurate progress report on those things can be told.
With the multiple projects that are happening at the end of the brigade, I think stakeholder management is something which is really critical when it comes to looking at multiple projects. How does this technology help you in managing so many projects happening simultaneously?
Basically, we have an MIS tracking methods in our company, wherein management goes through each and every project on a detailed way. But for site level monitoring, we have used this particular services as of now. But on a larger scale, for each and every project implementation and then tracking it through this is a talk now, which will happen. But presently they are tracking only through MIS based concept, wherein we do it for all the projects. For this particular large project, wherein in large project itself we have 8 smaller projects, so this tracking is happening very regularly and independently. So with your services, they understand what level the project has come up with the visualization, like the pictures, the photographs. It shows very clearly what level the building has come up, where the interior works have progressed, which floors it has come up. So management understands that very clearly with these photographs.
Arjun, we definitely spoke about photogrammetry. So there is one comment and question where, it looks like this is kind of an advanced photogrammetry that is used for construction projects. And they want to know that how AI plays a role in this.
Right. So multiple ways. See, photogrammetry is the base technology which converts I would say, photos and videos into those maps and models and walkthroughs. But all the insights that we generate, photogrammetry does that job only till there. But all the insights that we generate, that is, we are automatically able to identify how much of, say, concrete pour has been done, shuttering has been done, or for interiors walkthrough, where exactly each of the photos were taken. So that is where this computer vision based AI comes into picture, wherein how we have done is that we have kind of trained our models that we have with multiple images. Like we have been collecting such data for last 2 to 3 years from different construction sites across India, across the world, also many sites. So all that data has gone into a system, and now our engines are very accurately able to understand and identify, like when a picture is feeded to them, whether an interior 360 image or a drone or some mosaic or whatever, they are very easily the AI component is able to identify certain components, certain objects, and say that this much of this is there in this photo. So that is where the AI and ML part comes into picture. Like that, AI and ML mostly are a technological layer that comes above a lot of base technologies in any field. I mean, I talked about computer vision, but AI and ML is also extensively used in, say, speech recognition. You have your Alexa and Google Home and all. There also, how it has happened is that those algorithms have been trained with a lot of human input of voices and corresponding text with it. And with that kind of training, the algorithms exactly now know, they have seen so much amount of data, so many parameters that have come in. And now with an accuracy of, say, more than 99%, they are able to identify certain things. So whether it is identifying voice or identifying through images or videos, that is the process that AI undergoes. That is, there is a certain level of base technology that gives a certain output, and over which a training algorithm is built, which takes in a lot of amount of data, and from that it draws its own inferences, that if this is the kind of input, this is what it could mean, this is what this is what the final output should be. And that's how we are able to bring in that level of AI and ML to extract information and analytics from the images, the visual data, and provide all the absolute numbers. Rishali, you're on mute, I guess. Can't hear you. Yeah.
So these are actually all the questions. I was just saying, if there are any final words that you would like to share, Mr. Sawant, you could.
I will say that initially we were feeling that this service is an added work for us, but no, it is not an added work. It has become a very good advantage to me, wherein we could track our progress, make contractor understand. I will say it's an excellent tool and should be used by everyone who are working on a large scale project. And for the project heads, it will be a boon because you can confidently do your work sitting in your office also. Yes, look, my building is coming right where it was supposed to be and not in an error. So that particular confidence, it has given me immense confidence and an advantage to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Arjun, we were speaking about AI and the ROI. There are a few questions where people want to understand how economically viable this solution is. If you could highlight in a minute and conclude.
Right. Economically viable. So certainly, yes. So all the technology that get adopted, we have seen in any sector everywhere that they have definitely improved. They have brought in cost advantages, savings, and all those things. I mean, that is the only reason why any technology will get adopted, because there will be a certain benefit that people will see. And like Mr. Surendra was saying, I mean, this is not an added cost. It is something that has immensely helped. And along with the tangibles, there will be a lot of intangibles also that come along with it, where a lot of people are able to work on, collaborate, or look at the historical record of data. If I want to know that what was the progress of work in, say, August, and today, 1 year ago, I have that record for whatever reasons. I mean, even say if there is any arbitration. So there are quite a few things that can come in. So at the same time, what we have seen is that as an ROI, I mean, there is a certain ROI, especially I mean, going step by step from land survey, like I was saying, that all the land surveys, we are able to do it at half the cost and around half the price compared to the traditional method. And this comes along with a lot of furthermore outputs, the visualization, along with the certain outputs of contours and feature marking that happens. We are able to bring in more technology, and that's the advantage of technology that we all should make use of. That when a technology comes into a sector, comes into a place, it is kind of disrupting the already established processes, right? So wherein, like in this example itself, it is happening at half the cost and half the time. So definitely a great advantage. Same with construction progress monitoring. What we have seen is that the supervisory manpower, the site engineers, they don't really now themselves have to go up and down, climb up the building all through the day and keep a track of progress of work. It is all kind of happening automatically. We have the visual record of data, so many things become useful. So the supervisory manpower itself can be reduced, or at least the stress on them can be reduced in that way. So multiple benefits. And also, like Mr. Surendra was saying, the defects that we are able to, the footprint, the building footprint that we are able to understand right at the beginning of the project, to understand where the beams, pillars, everything have to come up. They're coming exactly where they should be, because we are able to very accurately put up the overlay, the CAD drawings on the exact construction that is happening. So if there is any error, I mean, it happens many a times in construction sector that maybe the site plan got updated and it would have been sent over email. So there is no visual way of doing those things. Perhaps the only way is take a measuring tape and understand those things. So all those things we are able to bring in. So definitely a big ROI that this technology brings in. Makes it easy to manage construction, to get those visualizations, and to see that everything is going on accurately and have better controls on the processes.
Thank you so much. I think the how to do it is answered very clearly by both our eminent speakers. We do have credentials which we'll share with all the attendees, and I urge everyone to go through it. And for any smallest of the small thing that you want to understand, the UVR team is always here to guide you through it.
Definitely.
And with this, we come to the end of today's webinar. Thank you to both our panelists for such informative and edifying session. It was indeed informative, interesting, and insightful for everyone who attended it. Thank you so much. Here's wishing you all the good evening and have a safe and tech times ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Mr. Surendra.